Hi there, I thought I'd make a new video because last video was, well, a while ago. Back then I had a Boeing 767 overhead panel. When I shot a video at that time I dismantled, I was about to dismantle that overhead panel and build a new panel because I was pursuing my PPL license with the Piper 28 and I wanted to train more on the Piper 28 at home instead of in the air, because in the air the flight hours, especially in Europe, are very expensive, and like things like procedures and stuff, you can just try that out and you can have training just at home, use of checklists and that kind of things. No problem with doing that at home. So I thought I'd give just a quick update. I'm now using 3 screens, 1, 2 and 3. My first plan was to use these 2 screens as one for this view, so this view would just take 2 screens, but that didn't work out. That didn't work out because I had difficulties with setting the correct viewpoint, and when it was set to the best I could, I had trouble taking off and landing because the runway would just be right here, and when I put that more to the left or to the right, it just didn't work out. I found myself like going from left to right, from left to right, just to try to land or track the center line on takeoff. That just didn't work out. So as for now, the temporary plan is to use this screen for the aircraft, this screen for additional gauges or an additional view. Like you can see here, my wing view. This is just my my screen. This is FSX. This is just what I use as background, as a desktop background, with a GPS default from Flight Simulator, and here the gauges that I use of Panel Builder, which has very good software, very easy to use, working quite well. I'm just having trouble with this one, with the fuel pressure gauge. It isn't working out. Something is wrong with the fuel pressure gauge. It always shows max fuel pressure, even though there is no fuel pressure in the sim. I've changed the values. I don't know what is wrong, so I have to take a look at that, a closer look to that. We are currently flying over the channel. I took off at Lima Foxtrot Alpha Echo, which is Eumer in France, on runway 05. We are now tracking the Seaford VOR, Sierra Foxtrot Delta VOR inbound, on the 310 bearing, more or less. And then we will proceed to Shoreham, Echo Golf Kilo Alpha. We are, as you can see here, 12 minutes inbound, the Seaford VOR, which you can also see here. I'm off track with respect to my GPS because I changed my route. I just wanted to take off and then get to the other side of the channel as soon as possible to show you this, to be able to show you this video. So the cockpit is quite operational. A lot of things are working. I have several switches: battery, alternator, fuel pump, light switches, pitot heat, all working. I have an avionics switch, transponder switch. I still have to wire it, but I'll do that when I use IVAP again on IVAO. The nav GPS switch, autopilot switches with encoders for the altitude and the vertical speed. Audio panel here. If I push on this button, you will see that the nav 1 will be on the radio, and you might hear some Morse code in a couple of seconds. There it is. I'm going to switch it off. It's just a wooden MDF panel. I still need to paint it. I still need decals with the names of the switches, so it's just a work in progress. I have encoders here for the altimeter encoding, the OBS, heading bug, gyro drift correction, that sort of things. The basic 6-pack, VOR, ADF, engine instruments. I still have room here for an extra instrument. This is the parking brake. one switch. You see that it is on now, and an LED. And these are two buttons I used for the magnetos. They are not wired as for now, but I will wire them with this button being the left turn on the magneto and this being a right turn on the magneto. I don't have a real key or an encoder to simulate that. We see that the OBS needle gets a little more sensitive since we are closing in. We are 18 miles inbound the C4 VOR, so corrections must be used with ease. I have a Cytec X52 Pro joystick with a couple of buttons that are programmed: throttle, mixture, flaps, trim. This is all programmed. I'm using checklists that I have made myself for the Piper 28. I have this normal operations checklist. I also have a emergency operations checklist that is right here. CH products, pedals, and then small speakers right there. As for the wiring, I might want to take my Sally here to give you some more light. Just a second. I use Leo Bodner's cards. I have one here and I have a second on the other side. I also use a hacked keyboard right here. That's a hacked keyboard for some switches that are just that aren't the toggle switches. So these are connected to the Bodner cards right here, and then I have some simple push buttons right here that are connected to this keyboard hack. This is the back of the screen that I use to show my gauges on. That's actually all that I have to say about it. You might remember from my old overhead panel that cable management is an issue, was an issue, and still is an issue. But hey, one day I might just put something here and then you won't see it anymore. This time there's also an easy access, so if something has to be changed, I had a toggle switch that went dead some time ago, so I could change it very easily this time. No problem at all. So as you can see, a work in progress. I need a lot of time before I can do something or anything at my cockpit due to several reasons, professional and personal reasons. In the meanwhile, I also have my PPL. I will switch to the VL3 aircraft, which is an ultralight aircraft, just to save on cost. So I'm actually flying in real world now, so I don't really want to invest a lot of time in this home cockpit. Oh, there's some turbulence over the channel. As you can see, we are approaching the Sierra Foxtrot Delta VOR, the C4 VOR, so I will turn this video off. I hope you have enjoyed it. I will land at Shoreham. Hopefully I will be able to use the plane again, which would mean that it would be a good landing. And well, when I make some progression, when I put some paint on my cockpit, or when I put some decals, or when I add the fuel tank selector or the carb heat lever, well, I might make another video for you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.